All right, Mr. Aiken, you have had an opportunity to be a part of another show. Yes. Last night, you went out and co-hosted another show, the Metal Command radio show.
I did, yeah.
And I know you did this one time before. Tell us about your friend there and the show that he's on. What is this little radio station? This is an actual radio station, right?
Yeah. It's over at Baldwin Wallace.
Oh, okay. So it's a college radio.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was over at Baldwin Wallace yesterday. What is it? The Sting, I think, is the name of the station. 80 whatever point whatever.
It's like 88.9 or something like that, or
whatever it is.
88.1, or it's on the low end of the band.
Yeah, man.
But it's broadcast radio, nevertheless.
Yeah, and Tony's been doing that show for like 20 years. He's been there forever, and he's got like a lot of cool ties himself to like.
Well, I would hope so. It's kind of like our good friend Bill Peters.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Well, you know how like you're Don Dawkins guy. Well, he's like Halloween's guy. When Halloween comes this way, he goes and hangs with them, and like he's hung out with them in Germany and whatever. That's cool. So he's he's like involved. He sang on records and stuff. So I mean, he's actually a metal guy, and yeah, he's been very cool to me. Big fan of my books. He read both the books, and I guess they came out right when he was going through some shit of his own. So perfect timing, But yeah, he invited me to come out, and I'm me, dude. I'm always willing to go out and talk about whatever I'm doing, whether it's the books or the CMS. And he's a big fan of us, dude. He was telling me. I don't know this device yet, but I'm going to be looking into it immediately. He has something called Apple CarPlay in his car, and it's like some kind of device that like syncs with your iTunes and syncs like the way he listens to our podcast is he just drives in the car and he can just say to his car Classic Metal Show, and it'll show him whatever the newest shit is, and then it'll download on the fly and play.
Okay.
So it's almost like it's a radio station.
Sure.
For the Classic Metal Show through iTunes. And he said he listens all the time, and he said he was telling me some stories, I don't know if it was on the air or off the air last night, about him walking into work just fucking crying laughing at some of the shit that we do.
Sure.
He's a big fan, man, and I am this, dude, because you're the same way too. It's you can't go into any of these things with a big head. I am. I'll take that back. Some guys do. I go in always appreciative. I don't care if they have 2 listeners or 2,000 or 2 million. I appreciate very much that anybody gives a fuck what we're doing, and I go into it and try to be respectful and appreciate what they're doing. So Tony invited me out. I was more than happy to go. I think I did an hour and a half with them last night, and it was a lot of fun.
Cool. I was actually going to tune in, and I was looking at the clock, and I was thinking, okay, you're an hour ahead of me. You're going to be on at 10 o'clock my time. I'm going to tune in via the internet. Never did see 9 o'clock come. I passed out. I was just exhausted. This week has just been exhausting, and sure. I was going to listen to the show, and before I know it, I woke up. It was 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I'll have it in a day or two. I'll have the audio, and I'll put it on our Spreaker. I already asked if he wanted me to link out to his thing or whatever. He's like, "Fuck it, just download it." So I was like, "All right." So I'll download it, and I'll put it on our Spreaker so that people can get it if they want to hear it. It was good. It was it was good. We talked a lot about different bands, Primal Fear and Halloween, and told a lot of stories. It was a good time. It was the metal conversation Bob wanted to have, but I didn't let him.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny that somehow your friend over there at Metal Command can actually, have a conversation, and then, world-renowned documentarian,
right.
He somehow gets sidelined, for John and Stephanie.
All right, well, shit happens. I fucked up, okay? How many times do I gotta say it? It happens with me. Come on, dude. You have to admit, off the top, every time you leave fucking knowing that the dice are rolling, that there's no telling if I'm going to do a great show or a train wreck.
Right.
Yeah, and I know that, and you know that, and this was one of the train wrecks. I did like 3 or 4 in a row that were good.
Right. Well, let me ask you something, and this is I want a pat on the back for this only if it was good. How did the new setup work with being able to roll out some cables and plug in?
Very simple. It was really, really simple. I had more trouble fucking with the levels a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because you know this stuff, I don't, and I'm trying to remember. And one, I was already drinking a lot, but I was trying to remember because you had told me something about adjust certain thing, never touch certain things on the mix, the new stuff, whatever this stuff's called, the rack.
The rack.
And you had said, well, you can adjust the computer sound, I think, on the board, but I was supposed to set my properties to a certain level on the computer first. Like you had said, set the properties on the computer this way and then adjust with the knob on the board.
Exactly.
Right?
That's exactly right.
Well, I couldn't get my head around that. So I was doing it the way you showed me. I had the Audacity open and I have it recording and it's like, I'm testing those microphones over there and it's like, hey, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Right.
It sounds like that. And then I finally get that one tuned in and I come over to my mic and it's like, I was like, holy shit.
You shouldn't even be on the same channel though.
No, I wasn't, but I was drinking and I couldn't get my head around, okay, well, turn this one knob down.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm like, well, fuck, it's got to be the computer or it's got to be this or it's got, I just struggled with it a little. I will get it. The more I play with it, I'll get it.
Yeah. Well, for the most part, and I did listen to probably 70% of the playback.
Yeah.
There was only one segment there that you were overmodulated, but for the most part, the whole show was pretty even.
Clean. Yeah.
So you did good.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad something went well.
And a guy like John, who supposedly wasn't drinking at all last week or wasn't,
I don't think
drunk.
he drank much.
And a guy who works on stage and plays with mics and shit, I'm surprised he couldn't come over and help you.
He's a fucking singer.
He couldn't. That amazes me that guys who are in bands who have I would think that they would help set up or know the equipment a little bit,
right?
Would understand it just a little bit, which is why I color coded everything for you.
Yeah, I know. And unfortunately, what I need to do is put stickers on and no lie, I'm stupid at this stuff. I need to put stickers on the board itself to where to turn the levels to.
Yeah.
And then I need to put a sticker on the side of my computer that literally says recording property 38% or whatever it is.
Exactly.
And playback this and music this.
Yeah.
I just need to treat it like I'm a fucking half a tard because I am.
Sure.
I don't know why it is. Forget John. Why is a guy that makes fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars a year working with computers so fucking dumb about 6 goddamn knobs? I mean, if we're going to get into it, let's get into it. I make a lot of money dealing with fucking high-end computer programming.
Right.
And I can't figure out 6 fucking knobs and a slider on a computer? What's fucking wrong with me?
Yeah. Well, I tried to make it as easy as possible.
I know, but I'm dumb.
Yeah.
I almost got it.
Yeah, well, you sound fine on my end here tonight,
dude. But even that, I came in 8:00, and I was doing my normal thing, fucking around, singing, and just getting my voice kind of warmed up because I'd been sleeping, and I just thank God I did this too because normally I wouldn't even check, but I just was like, well, I fucked with the knobs and shit last week, so let me make sure my levels are good. I flipped up Audacity. Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. And I was like, son of a bitch. And I rebooted. I was like, okay, I must have blown out a driver or something. Rebooted it. Nothing. I was like, fuck. Then I tried Winamp just to play something. Nothing. And I was like, what? And I'm playing with all the knobs again on the board, and and I can hear myself booming in my headphones, but I know that doesn't matter because that just means it's reaching the board. So finally, I dicked around with the properties, and somehow the recording properties got set to 0. I have no idea how that happened because I literally have not been in here since I did the show.
Right.
So I don't know what could have changed from then till now. All I did was turned all the power off. That's all I did at the end of the night. Click, 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 click. Out. Come back today, 8 o'clock. Click, 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 click. On. Nothing. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, you're all right now.
Well, that's what, dude. I mean, remember when you texted me right at 9 o'clock and you were like, "I'm here now," like because I had said, "Are you there?" That's what I was doing. I was freaking.
Right.
I was, son of a bitch. We're not going to have a fucking show.
Well, so I've done all I can for you. That's all I can say.
I needed like a training video.
Yeah.
And you need to have like that monkey that you have in the studio, the clapping monkey.
Exactly.
Like perform the video so that it'll make me feel really stupid if I can't do it.
Sure.